Heavy. Heavy. Woo, we cooking. Oh, dude, they're chasing me. I have some fans. My biggest fan. Heavy. Dude, I hate Rapier. Oh, that's not a good trade, dude. You don't have you don't have iframes on there anymore. Oh god, dude, it's a massacre. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's so cooked, dude. The one shot. That's what I believe, at least. If you're looking for a build that allows you to one-shot these 5 con players or other melee players, well, this is the build for you. You'll be sending these light armor enjoyers straight to the respawn screen. Let's break down the gear so you know exactly what to run. Let's start off with our artifact of choice for the weapon. You gotta run Crescent Wave, man. This thing absolutely nukes people. Still in Season 10, they try and nerf it, but it keeps rising back from the grave like a caffeinated zombie. I put Vicious on here. Why? You might be asking. For 2 main reasons. 1, it allows me to use this in PvE very efficiently. And 2, it's very good for my hatchet, as my hatchet, well, it loves Vicious. And guess what? We put Vicious on my hatchet as well. On my hatchet, I want Keen Berserk compounding turret with a punishing Moonstone here. So we do insane amount of damage on our hatchet burst combo. I do have a better hatchet in here, I just haven't upgraded it. This is what you want. You want N for sure. This gives you 5% more base ability damage and 10% more base damage to the final attack in the melee light attack chain. And you do a lot of lighting and a lot of ability spamming on hatchet, so N is a massive damage increase. For our heart rune, I still run the Stalwart heart rune form. Why? Because it gives you too much survivability to pass up. You can definitely run the new artifact, the blade one, if you want. It's pretty fun and strong. Or you can run Dark Ascent if you're looking for some more PvP shenanigans and want some extra lifesteal. For my amulet, I still choose to run Divines, Health, and Shuriken Power for my Life Ring amulet. In the new season, there is no Divines on amulets anymore, so you can't get that perk anywhere else. And I absolutely love it for the additional sustain it gives my current build. But you can run Protection perk. I recommend Thrust, Slash, or Lightning, as there is a lot of bow players out there right now. And that's exactly what this build is designed to kill, those bow rats, as they are quite annoying. Blood Drinker, I love this thing. Even in Season 10, this thing is phenomenal. I do have plans, though, to switch this out to a better version of the build later down the line. So make sure to stay tuned for that for the updated version. But this comes with leeching, keenly empower, massive damage increase. You want to have as much leeching as you can on this build. And once you have that, you can then switch out Blood Drinker for a different artifact on your Julia if you want, or just nothing. If you guys are looking to run this build without Blood Drinker and want to pump even harder, this is the ring I've been using, and my god does it slap. Curse Enchantment paired with arcane damage, your heavy attacks on your greatsword almost one-shot people. You get 10% increase of base damage here, plus another 8%, that's 18% additional damage. Plus you don't lose the damage from Blood Drinker, allowing you to absolutely nuke foes into the Shadow Realm. There will be a lot of therapists needed after you're done using this build, because a lot of people, well, they hate getting one shot. For my earring, Empowering Toes, Healing Heart, Fortifying Toes, pretty much best in slot in my opinion. I put Relentless Freedom here as my skill slot. I think this is a mandatory perk for a greatsword, especially with all the slows and the roots. This is super nice to have, especially with the bows that they run radiant arrows or like void gauntlet slows. There's just so much in the game right now, and Relentless Freedom allows you to get rid of that. Gives you a lot of mobility. If I had to choose a 4th perk here, I would like to have Refreshing Toast as well. All my potions come up faster, very solid. Now for my boots here, Creed boots, oh boy, these things are nuking people, boys. I mean, these things are broken beyond belief, and I highly recommend picking these up if you do not have them. They have a skill slot, defensive, and leeching. For the defensive, I'd put Enchanted Ward, just too lazy at the moment. Leeching, very good. And then the skill slot, you would put Relentless Freedom ideally here, and drop it from the earring if I could get a better earring, but there's no skill slot I want to put here. So I'm just going to leave that blank for now. For my gear, since I do not have a good enough gear right now, I'm actually running 3 Overcharge. This is very good, especially for a quick burst of damage if you don't have best in slotted gear, I found this to be a very good substitute. As when you hit an enemy within 5 meters, we're always within 5 meters, sniffing their backs, you increase your base damage by 5% and the affliction resistance by 10%. So usually that's slash because we spin through them, or we hit them with a social distance and that slash. Because of that, we get that nice bit of extra tankiness. But you also get a bit of rend on you, which is okay. We're not stacking that much armor to begin with, so it's fine. So you hit someone, you get big damage. It refreshes every 5 seconds. You get 10% if you do not get hit, which is crazy. You just start nuking people at that point. This is a great substitution for my gear until I get better stuff. What I am looking for is something similar to this with 2 offensive, a perk, and a gem slot. This would be my ideal combo here. My 5th slot could either be a defensive or a perk. It doesn't really matter. I just want max damage because we're looking to nuke people into oblivion. You want sacrifice empowerment on this build so you can get as much base damage as humanly possible to continue to pump. And then you want to stack vicious, so it pairs nicely with our crescent and our hatchet. Very, very good across the board. Rogue here, this is mainly for PvE. I wouldn't run rogue in PvP. Instead, I would run something like enchanted to allow my heavies to hit even harder for my greatsword, as that's what we're mainly using this build for, is our heavy nuking potential. But if you like the hatchet more and you want to go more into the hatchet nuking potential, you can run slash here. Slash harnessing, it totally would be fine, as hatchet's all slash and greatsword is a lot of slash, just the arcane wave isn't. Then we're running punishing gems once again here. Opals, I think opals are just best in slot across the board at the moment, as there's a lot of split damage and opals cover all of that. So I highly recommend slotting at least 5 to 8 opals if you're choosing the opal route. Your melee attacks do 1% extra damage. This is really nice for my hatchet, increased burst damage. But once again, if you want to go more into the wave style, you can choose to run the range gem here instead. I chose not to because that's only one part of the build where everything else is melee, so I think I get more value out of that 1% overall. But if you love spamming waves and you love sending people to the afterlife to meet Jesus Christ himself, well then you can go range as well. For the chest piece, make sure you have vital synergy. This is pretty much mandatory. Massive extra sustain, always have that if you can. Terminal Vengeance is nice as well for hatchet, as you get more base damage the lower health you are, and you're always low health on hatchet. Very broken perk compared with hatchet. Another one perker you want to grab if you can will be Lifestealer's Draught. This will increase all lifesteal by 15% and increase lifestealing effects by 15%, giving you so much more overall sustain in your build, and I would absolutely love to have this, but sadly your boy does not have a good light piece with it yet, and that's why I'm still running overcharge. I just can't find the gear, man. RNG is kicking me while I'm down, and it is brutal. Let's break down a few consumables that you'll definitely need to absolutely min-max this build. 1, always bring your serums. These are just hands down best in slot for PvP. The only major downside is they are quite expensive on the market, but hey, sometimes sacrifices have to be made for success, and serums is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Make sure you always have your honing stones, either tier 5 for the infa game modes like Arena and CTF, or the tier 3s for OPR and Open World. As we're not Jeff Bezos, we can't afford a serums and a good honing stone. Let's be honest, we're not that rich. After that, make sure you always have your mana food, because the Crescent Wave, it guzzle it like your Tinder date. This thing is just eating hearty meals left and right. Always have this up. Next, Sunrise. Think of this as 25% extra health to your current HP bar, as there's a lot of dots right now in New World Aeternum for both PvP and PvE, so Sunrise is mandatory. After that, make sure you bring in your 48 stat food. You can bring in the 44 one if you're feeling cheap, but 48 is definitely worth it, as right now there's not very many attribute points on the menu, and well, I'm feeling hungry, so I take the 48 version. Other potions you can run, by the way, besides serums, are I like Infused Burst Regens. These are kind of your oh crap button. I made a mistake and I instantly regret it. These got your back. You can also run Oak Flesh and Gemstone Dust to make you a bit extra tanky like the Hulk. Or something I highly recommend doing is always bring in like fire pots, lightning pots here to stop the bolt casters and those pyromaniacs that are going to be melting you down. Onto our attributes here. For our attributes for this build, I love the 50 con setup. Feels absolutely phenomenal. Just that little bit of HP is all I really need. You can definitely look to set that up to 100 if you're feeling a little down in the dumps and you don't feel like you're locked in. 100 is a really good buffer. And then I like 260 strength or dexterity, and then my strength, I like to get this all the way up to a solid 250 for the extra 20% stamina regenerate while performing basic melee attacks. And yes, while having on greatsword does count as a basic melee, so it's very good for our stam sustain overall, allowing us to roll more, dodge more, and block more, all with the greatsword, skyrocketing our survivability across the board. This is mandatory. Do not skip out on the 250 strength. It's much better, in my opinion, if you want more con, to drop the dex lower, as that empowerment isn't nearly as valuable as having more sustain overall for our stamina. If you guys want to see my weapon mastery trees, here they are. Relentless, simple, efficient, mobility, damage. What more can a man ask for? Steadfast, this one's very broken in my opinion, one of the best abilities in the entire game. This gives you a double hit. The first hit staggers, second hit kind of rips them out. Think of it like you're in the streets of London and getting shanked. While you're getting shanked though, you get healed, you inflict a bleed, which is massive, but the bigger one is you reduce all your cooldowns by 20%. Since we're not running the left side here, this is very important to hit for our ability cooldowns. If we don't hit this, then we lose about 20% of cooldowns. So connecting this continuously is very important for our uptime. A bonus tip is each shank gives us 20 stamina, so 40 stamina in total. That's half our stam bar. Translation, hitting this is the most important ability to learn how to hit correctly on greatsword. If you're missing this, well, you're not really playing greatsword, you're playing a wet noodle. And finally, I like Roaring Rupture here for the extra fortify. The weaken it gives you, the cleansing of 2 debuffs, and the fact that you can't be CC'd during it by anything that's not hard CC'd, meaning you just turn into the Juggernaut, an unstoppable killing machine. Hatchet's a bit different. We have Berserk, Torrent, and Social Distance. Social Distance is mainly to get around and kite people if we need to. That's all it really is used for. Some mobility and haste, and to root people trying to run away, as it does have a nice little root. For Berserk and Torrent, these are just our main burst damage. You pop Berserk, you go for a Torrent, and you'll see me nuking people left and right at the start of the video, just melting them down into scrap. And Hatchet is just super strong right now. The only downside to Torrent is it cannot track. You basically should be wearing a blindfold. That's using Torrent. Your character does not track whatsoever with this thing. So if you guys want to know where I get the gear real quick, I'll break it down. ECRs are a must. You get the overcharged set, by the way, from the Catacombs. Creed Boots comes from this point I'm in right now, this camp. Blood Drinker comes from Starsteam Mutations in Everfall. Has to be mutated. And Crescent Wave comes from these big corrupted portals scattered around the map. They have to be max level, so 66 or above, in order for Crescent Wave to drop. Now that that's out of the way, let me break down my quick thought process of what I think about while playing the build, so you have a general idea. So if I'm versing a player and I see him trying to run away, usually I'll try to open with a social distance to cheek him, hit him with the root. Once in with the root, I like to spin on him, or roll the attack, then spin. Then I go for a heavy. If they try and turn on me, I like to go into immediate Roaring Rupture there to get the cleanse on the debuff. If I've been debuffed, to get the extra fortify and weaken. Then I just like to pump heavies. Wait for them to make a mistake. If my stam bar gets too low, then I like to use my steadfast there to get full stamina once again, and then continue to heavy. Relentless through them again. And if I see them ever stammed, I like to immediately pop social and then go for a full torrent on them and just absolutely nuke them. Only use torrent, guys. I mean, only use this if they have no stamina, or you'll be making a massive mistake and you'll be 6 feet under and not them. If you guys are new here, I appreciate you smash that like button, subscribe, and huge shout out to my YouTube channel members. It mean a lot to me, guys. Join the crew and the brotherhood and support your boy. With that, peace. What's this guy rolling? Oh, another one, dude. That's a great alley-oop, man. Another alley-oop, bro. My boys are... Did I just get healed? Oh, boy. We're juiced now. I have a healer in my back pocket? You think I'm dying? You think I want to die with the healer? Come on. Let's be honest. Watch this. Heavy. Poke. That should have hit. Heavy. Poke. 1 heavy, 2 heavy, 3 heavy, 4. The supplements, you know? I'm not natty anymore, boys. I'm not natty. I'm on the roids, and that's why we're pumping so hard. We're pumping, dude.